Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us at In the Know. We're catching up with some of your favorite celebs, reality TV stars, and more direct from their homes. I'm your host, Gibson Johns, and today we're joined by Monique Samuels from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique and I touched upon all of the hot topics surrounding the current 5th season of the Bravo hit, including her relationship with Candiace and, quote-unquote, the incident, Monique's highly watched Instagram Live addressing those rumors, the expansion of her family with her son Chase and her runaway bird T'Challa, where she stands with Gizelle, and so much more. Keep listening for my full interview with Monique. So we're here with Monique Samuels from Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique, how are you doing?
I'm good. I got family in town. So we were just at my new Burke house. I just got back today and I feel so refreshed and just got a break from the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you find that you have to kind of give yourself those moments while you're airing, when the season's in season?
Absolutely. I always do that after we're done filming. And then as we gear up for the season, and definitely many times while the season's airing. So especially this season, because it's been very heavy on me. It's like a lot of drama directed my way. So I need it now more than ever.
For sure. I mean, I was going to say, just sort of how are you doing? Because it is a season that so far, and it seems like going forward, you'll be right in the thick of it. And I'm curious just how that experience has been, because you're really, it's a doozy this year, it seems.
Yes, it's very intense. But I've been doing a good job of just maintaining my stress level. I'm a person who I kind of like quiet all the noise, because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know who I am and where my heart is and my love of people and all of those different things. So I just don't let it really get to me. Other people are only judging what they see on the show, but I know who I am at the core. So I don't blame them for their judgments based on what they're watching. They can only judge off of what they see, and I cannot hold that to them.
Right. So before we get too far into it, I do want to start off on a light note, which is T'Challa, the new superstar of Real Housewives of Potomac, the former runaway parrot who's now back at home in the Samuels household. Talk to me about like, because he's really become a kind of breakout star of this franchise.
Yes, and I don't know if I would have been able to watch the season had he not come back. And so you remember, you're actually the first person I'm telling this to. So you remember last season when everybody was on me about my exterior cameras not working at my house. Well, right before quarantine, we actually got our cameras updated and fixed. And I totally forgot. I actually have footage of T'Challa when he came back.
No way. So is that going to be released at some point for us?
Look, I can release it to you if you want me to. It's really interesting because when he left, you can't, the cameras didn't pick up the motion of him leaving. So all you see is me running. So I have footage after him, and I have footage the next day when he came back. And you can see me standing there holding my hands up. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden you see him fly by and you can see his red tail clear as day in the video. And then you see me run back. Like, I have
that is wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I'm so relieved for you guys.
Thank you. Oh, me too. I was devastated. Like, I can't even describe the emotion I felt. I was so heartbroken, and I was more so concerned about his safety and the fact that, he's a domestic bird, a domesticated bird who's in the house all the time. Thank God my husband and I would go for walks, and I would put him on his leash and walk the neighborhood with him. And I really feel like that had an impact on him coming back and finding his way back home, because he knows the area. So I'm really grateful that we did that he came back, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a miracle, and I'm really happy for you. And another really great addition to the household is Chase, and he's another adorable, beautiful, perfect Samuel's child. I mean, you guys really create beautiful children. What's it been, do you feel the love around your son? Because I again, like we're right there with you. You were pregnant last season. Now we see Chase, who has a full-blown personality now, and what's it been like to kind of showcase him this season so far?
Oh my God, I can't wait to see more of Chase on camera, because he was so, like, it's so crazy. He's growing up so fast. Now he's like all over the place. He's walking, he's talking, he's like, he has such a big personality. He's so happy. But if you get on his bad side, he is the complete opposite. He will flip on you and he
Oh
will
my
let you know when
gosh.
he's not happy. Yes, he kind of like, I feel like I took on his personality last year when I was pregnant. It's like I can be the nicest person, but if you push me, you're gonna get something ugly.
And that was a little preview for what we expect from Chase. I love that. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's adorable. So I'm excited to see more from him too.
Thank you.
So season 5, Real Housewives of Potomac, it was obviously delayed, and I think that heightened anticipation for this season. I think that it gave people more time to get into it that hadn't been into the show. It heightened the anticipation around the fervent fans. It was just like, but I think it's hitting at the right time. I think people are so tuned in to what's happening right now. What was your mindset going into this season, knowing that the wait was longer and knowing that you were kind of central to the story this year?
I believe it was a perfect storm. Like you said, a lot of people were able to catch up after they released the trailer. It was like, whoa, everybody was like, whoa, wait, Potomac? Let me go back and watch from season 1. Let me catch up because I want to see this. So like you said, once they pushed the season back even further, it allowed a lot more people to jump on board and to really anticipate and wait for it and be excited about it. And for me, I really just wanted to get the season over with.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it was pushed back, I was like, but then it was also good for me because I didn't realize that the first episode was going to be me potty training Chase and T'Challa. And I had been working on the book. So had the season started back then, I wouldn't have had the book ready to release
so interesting.
Yeah, so it was like, it worked out perfect. It gave me time to get everything ready. And it was like the perfect timing for me having it debut in August. So yeah, I'm actually grateful for the pushback.
That is, I mean, and honestly, that's like that creates this like really big positive for you, I think, in a season that, there are moments of negativity in this season, and it's I think there are going to be moments of like darkness and that and really kind of deep conversations. So it's nice that you have this extra positive to kind of weigh it out. Do you feel that? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times when I'm doing interviews or if I'm just talking to people in general, everyone's asking about the fight. And the nice thing now is that I don't have to talk about just that. I have the book. I have Not for Lazy Moms. We're about to gear up the 3rd season of the podcast. I have my new single, Drag Queens. So when I'm talking to people, it's not just focused on that negativity. They're like, oh, wow, what inspired your music? I can't believe you're rapping again. And so that's been nice to have something else going on to talk about. And quarantine allowed me a lot of time to just really tidy up some projects that I've been working on. So
that's good.
Yeah.
And you can channel that energy in a different way. I agree. I think that, I think there is a lot of intrigue around the incident is how I'm hearing it be called, but there's more to it this season. There is a lot more to this season and a lot more to what you guys have going on. So I'm glad that you feel like you're able to share that.
Yes, I'm all about turning a negative into a positive. So that's what I was trying to do. And it gave me peace. It allowed me to kind of like take it all in and then let certain things go and positively move forward. And I feel way more confident going into the season, and I'm just ready. Like I feel more prepared and I feel more
So, I mean, it's interesting because I think we're seeing how these relationships are going to progress throughout the season. We're only a couple episodes in, and it feels like we're already so deep into everything going on. But, talk to me about where you and Candiace stood at the beginning of this season and kind of where you think it really devolved into what it became.
We started out with a conversation that we would have each other's back. We had a 2-hour lunch and we talked about everything that went on. And I pretty much said to her, I said, look, I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth about every incident. We both did things that we didn't like that the other did. I said, so how about we figure out a way to move forward and, let's make a pact. Like, let's make sure that we look out for each other. I'm going to look out for you. You look out for me. And then we take it there. And that's what we agreed on. Literally right after that is when I felt like she reneged on her word and went and did whatever she wanted to do that benefit herself, and just being inconsiderate and not thinking about, how I felt about something. And it's not about like having control of somebody. It's just consider me. I consider my friends. I try to make sure that everyone's comfortable. So do that for me. And when I didn't feel like it was reciprocated is when I said, you know what, I'm done, because this isn't the first time. So that's where we we started turning for the worse as soon as we had just gotten better.
Right. Yeah. And there was sort of no hope there. So, I mean, obviously recently you had that really widely watched Instagram live where you just shared your side of the story. And I think that it was really important for you to clear the air on a lot of this stuff, especially because it was sort of happening in conjunction with the season, which happened a while ago. So it's nice for you to be able to kind of simultaneously show your side of the story. And a lot of people watched it. A lot of people talked about it. And I'm curious sort of what you heard from, like, after you finished that live, like, what did you hear from people? What kind of feedback were you getting?
A lot of people were saying, wow, now I get it, because they could feel my energy watching each episode. But to them, it really didn't make sense why I was so upset about such a small incident to them. And once they realized the backstory, they were like, oh, I get it now. Now I totally understand. And now people can kind of see behind her mask and see that you were not innocent in this. And you did not, oh, I thought that this, or I thought, you knew exactly what you were doing. And now everyone who did watch the live, they get the full picture, you know? So it was good for me. I was able to get it off my chest. Some things I wasn't going to address, but after she went live, it was necessary that my husband and I address and give everybody the full picture.
Yeah, it has to be a fair fight.
Right. I try to be very, I'm a very forgiving person. I try to be the bigger person a lot, especially when it comes to this circle of women. And sometimes I have to put certain things that I feel on the back burner in order to get along. And I have no problem doing that. But that whole issue cut really deep. And for 2 seasons, I had to just suck it up and just say, you know what? I'm gonna just move forward and just take things as they come. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And it gets to a point where you just explode. Yeah.
It's not sustainable, honestly, to kind of be like that. So I think I'm glad you were able to air your side of the story. And it does seem like, there are people that are in your corner. I think there are a lot of fans that are in your corner when it comes to that. And I'm glad you feel that support. One person who's definitely in your corner is Karen. I think you guys went live like a couple of days later. How does it feel to have the Grand Dame on your side? Because it really feels like you guys do support one another a lot.
We do. Ever since I came to the show and came to this circle of women, Karen has been consistently down. She's been consistently just like giving me good advice. We don't always agree. Sometimes we agree, but we respect each other's opinions. And we know that how we move is based on our own experience with people and just life in general. So that's what I love about Karen. We have great conversations and she gives me her perspective, and I just really appreciate her friendship and her sisterhood. So and she'll let me know if she doesn't like certain things, and she'll let me know why, so I love that.
But that's real friendship, though. I think real friendship is when you can, you're there for the positives, but you're also there to check them. You're there to check each other, and that's really important.
Yes, exactly. And we'll talk on the phone sometimes, and she'll be like, okay, I can hear that you're getting upset. And I'll be like, all right, let me calm down, Karen. And then we'll talk it out. And it's just a beautiful thing. I really appreciate having her because she has truly been the epitome of sisterhood since I've been on the show. She is what
that's really nice.
Yeah, she was what I was hoping to get from all of the women. I thought that we had that type of connection. But I'm glad that at least I know with her, it's been real,
For sure.
Yeah.
So after the Instagram live, Candiace said something somewhere that she wouldn't want to film with you ever again. What was your response to that statement that she put out?
Well, here's my thing. I am never a person that's going to try to come after someone's job. Whether you think a person needs the money or not, it's my money, so if I'm doing my work and I'm getting paid and I'm on this particular show as a cast member, I would never try to use whatever power I think I might have against another person in order to come for their job. And at the end of the day, that's what she did. So for me, I can say I don't feel comfortable filming with her, but that doesn't mean that I want her fired. That doesn't mean that I don't want her to be a part of the show, because at the end of the day, you got to make your money just like everybody else. And I feel as though I bring a certain uniqueness to the show. I feel as though she brings a certain uniqueness to the show. And because I'm down for the show, I would never want to take that away from our fans and viewers. you know? But at the end of the day, no one on this show has the power to have another person removed. So
Right.
the arrogance being putting that out there just speaks more to who she as a person. So I just don't even think anything of it. I just, let it ride. But the feeling is mutual as it pertains to wanting to be in each other's space. I don't care to be in her space, but I am going to do my job.
Exactly. And it's your livelihood. It's part of your livelihood. So it's like, don't try to take that away from you. That feels like it's crossing a line a little bit,
It is. Definitely is. It definitely
Mm-hmm.
is. But that just speaks to her character. So I'm not really surprised.
So I think one thing that I really have been loving about Potomac, I mean, in past seasons as well, but it feels particularly, relevant this season, is you guys are extremely active on social media. We always get the live tweeting from you guys. There's all these Instagram things happening, throughout the week. And I think it just creates this extra level of engagement, this extra level of feeling like we're along for the ride with you guys.
Yes.
What's it like dealing with that extra layer as a cast member? What's it like? Because it must feel like there's kind of a lot of pressure to engage in a lot, but I'm sure you have kind of a way that you handle that.
I love it. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy hearing everyone's feedback. I'm not one of those people that limits my comments or blocks people unless they're being totally disrespectful. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy, and there's times where people will post an Insta story and they'll tag me on it and they'll be calling me trash and they're like, oh, I can't stand her. And I'll send them a bunch of heart emojis and then they'll respond and say, oh my God, I can't believe you responded. I don't really like you on the show, but I like the fact that you just responded to this. Like,
hey, kill him with kindness, kill him with kindness. Yeah.
It's like, why not? And I tell them all the time when people do have a negative thing to say, I said, isn't that the great thing about Housewives is that you have 6 other women you can choose to like.
Exactly. You can't like everyone. And again, like, I think it's like, you have a really thick skin. And so you're able to take that and recognize that, you're not, you're just living your life. You're not actively trying to be liked by everyone. I mean, I think you're liked by a lot of people, but I think when somebody on a Housewives show tries too hard, I think viewers see right through that, and I think if they're not being themselves, people recognize that.
Right. And it's like they're begging for support and approval. And for me, I just want to be a normal person and I want people to recognize that I'm just like you. I'm absolutely normal. And I think when you engage in that way, when you do the lives and when you tweet and you talk to people, they get to see that human side of you. When they're watching the show, it's like, this is entertainment. But then when they're connecting to you on a more personal level and you're having conversations back and forth, they love it. And I do too. I like to get to know people. And there's some people who I follow on Twitter who I'll see them on Instagram and it's like, they're like, oh yeah, you follow me on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I know who you are.
Yeah. And it's like you are doing it. Like, it's not somebody else running. It's you. And I love that.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really feels like you, and that's important.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a team running my Instagram or my Twitter or anything. So if you're talking on my social media, it's always me.
I love that. So I interviewed Gizelle last week and I love you guys individually. And I think for a while it was really, I don't know if frustrating is the right word, but it was hard to see how you guys could never really see eye to eye on the show. It felt like as a viewer. And so I think kicking off this season, at least it was nice to see you guys at least trying to see eye to eye. It really felt like you guys were like, okay, the past is the past. Let's try to at least have some sort of like, relationship or, just like be cordial. And I'm curious just for you, like what was your mindset at the beginning of the season when it came to Gizelle and sort of trying to make it work with her?
My mindset is always the same as it pertains to her. And that is, I can get along to get along. Like I can be very cordial. I don't ever, and even in the moments where we had the lunch and everything else, I don't ever see us being besties. I don't ever see us just like hanging out. When we met for lunch, we came up with an idea for Ashley. Actually, it was my idea to come up with getting Ashley out the house. And because Gizelle and I always have so much tension, the fact that her and I could do that together for Ashley, I was hoping Ashley would see like, wow, this really means a lot. And I need to get my butt out the house because she did not want to come.
Right. But seeing that united front is really meaningful.
Right. And that's all it was. And I can always be cordial. I can always say hi. Will I tell you my deepest, darkest secrets and my emotions and express things and be open with you? Never. But I just wanted, for the sake of the group, let's just get along and have fun. When we have fun and we're getting along, it's really good,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I was hoping for. And if I had to make a sacrifice to just have lunch and be on the same page for once, I was fine with that. But I had my side eye on it the whole time.
Of course, you were a little, you had your guard up, and I love that you bring up Ashley, because it was fun to see you guys both with your little sons, and just I think in that moment I just really realized how much you guys do have in common, and like there are a lot of things that you guys kind of approach things in life in the same way. And do I'm assuming you feel that, but like talk to me about your friendship with Ashley, because I don't know, it was just that one scene that really kind of got me and was like, Monique and Ashley, I love this friendship. Like it really works.
See, I don't think that people got enough of me and Ashley my first season. We actually filmed a lot together, on and off camera. We hung out. We would do couples dates with our fellas, and my kids love Ashley. We had many times where we would just hang out, just me, her, and Milani and Christopher at the time. So a lot of that wasn't shown in season 2. So I don't think people really understood that her and I were actually developing a very nice friendship. We hung out all the time. And that also is why I was so shocked once season 3 happened, and it was just a total flip on me.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So we had something that was established. We had a bump in the road, a huge bump in the road. I was very hurt and offended by it. But the following year, we had a really deep talk, several talks, and it was very genuine. And I wish that the viewers could see that, and hopefully maybe down the road, they'll eventually start to see. But, some people, I think they think that me and Candiace had a stronger friendship than me and Ashley. Candiace came around when me and Ashley were at odds. So during that small issue, well, it was a big issue, but
there was sort of an opening for Candiace there.
Yeah, and I'm always open to everybody. I met her through Ashley, but at that moment, I think people just saw, oh, Monique and Candiace are friends, and Ashley is on the outside, when it actually wasn't that way. Then we've been mending and doing better by each other ever since, and we gave each other our word, which is what me and Candiace try to do. But actually, in this instance, Ashley actually stuck to her word, and I've been sticking to mine, and that's why we've been fine ever since. It's 50-50. It's very balanced, and if something does on down the road that throws the balance off, then that's when we'll have to discuss that and sit down and get it together or end it.
Right.
But right now, I'm very happy with the friendship. She reaches out to check on me, I reach out to check on her, and it's nice.
Are you in a lot of contact with with all your co-stars, like when you're in season, when it's airing like this? Like, are you guys talking a lot, or is it mostly like through Twitter?
Oh no, I talk to Karen like just about every other day, and Ashley and I we'll text more so than we talk on the phone. But we do pick up the phone and call each other. Like I talked to her a few times when she was at the beach during quarantine and everything. So we would check on each other and make sure each day, and yeah, so it's been good. But yeah, Karen and Ashley I talk to the most.
For sure.
I've been texting with Wendy and just, checking in and, just small talk here and there. So that's been nice. I did not get to spend a lot of time with Wendy and really get to know her how I wanted to. So that's why I've been so looking forward to the season as well, just to see, what I missed out on and learn more about her personality.
Right. So if you think about, I mean, like we obviously have the full season left essentially. There's so much more to sort of see. But I mean, if you know what happens, what do you hope like a season 6 looks like of Potomac? What would you hope the future looks like for you and for the show?
I hope that season 6 comes with people establishing certain boundaries that don't get crossed, respecting each other. One thing I've been preaching since I came to the show is that you respect each other's marriage. You respect each other's families. Certain lines you just don't cross. And unfortunately on this show, the marriage line is always being crossed. And right. I take that very strongly. When you make that vow, it is not easy. So when you have people trying to create these lies and try to, create even more tension within a home, to me, you're crossing such a line right here. We have so many other things we can argue about and talk about, but marriage should be off limits. Karen's marriage was under attack. Ashley and Michael's marriage is constantly under attack. Now me and my husband's marriage is under attack. At the end of the day, you cannot tell a person, about their marriage. You need to mind your business. Everyone has their way of working things out, dealing with things, and it should be left up to you and that person. Now, if you choose to share details about your marriage, that should be up to you. When Karen sat down and talked to me about what she was going through with Ray, that's when I knew. I was like, okay, she's really going through something, because Karen usually isn't that open. So I feel as though people should have the respect to allow you to be the person if you want to come and say, hey, here's what's going on. And then we take it and we try to hold each other up.
That makes sense.
Right. And that's how it should be. So hopefully for season 6, people can find their own happiness so that they can't keep spreading this whole misery love company vibe. You know, find your happiness, find your peace, and we can have a little fun shade. We can have fun and we can have drama, but certain things should be off limits.
So, I mean, lastly, what can you know, again, knowing what happens for the rest of the season, what can you tell us about what can us fans expect to see on the rest of season 5 of Real Housewives of Potomac?
Well, based on what I know, they can definitely expect that every episode is going to be like, you know, just like how you've been seeing. It seems like we've gotten so many episodes. It's only 4 episodes in, and you're literally on the side you're left sitting on the edge of your seat wanting more. So every episode is going to be just like that. And I really feel that for me personally, I have shown a more vulnerable side of myself than any other season. I'm a person naturally who I like people to see the best sides of me. You know, I don't show any weakness or vulnerability. And I feel like this season, you're going to definitely get that. So you'll get to see how I am emotionally and what I deal with. And you saw last episode, I opened up to my husband about something that is very real to me. I'm like, dude, like, we need to be dating. I need to be pursued. I need to be wanted by you, not me doing that for you, especially with kids. And I love the fact that there was so much positive feedback from that. Especially like people who are in relationships, they were like, oh my God, it's not just me. And
it's a common issue. And that's to me, like, that is what a show like this is really about, which is, you know, you open your life up and you show people that, you know, the struggles that you have are just like the struggles that somebody else has, or I have, or your friend has. And so, you know, I love that you can hear those stories and hear that you really are reflecting real life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have to go around making up lies on people for me to be relevant or interesting. And as you can see, there's only one person that keeps beating that dead horse. But
it is what it is. Right. Well, Monique, I love catching up with you. It's so good to see your face, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. I know it's going to be a doozy, but you know, I'm glad that you are keeping positive with everything. So
thank you so much. So good
of course.
See you. All right, bye.
For more stories from In the Know, go to intheknow.com. You can also follow In the Know on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and find me, Gibson Johns, on Instagram and Twitter at Gibsonoma. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.